Hello everybody. I want to tell you about something big that's about to happen in our preschool children and youth ministries. But let me give you a little history first. From day one, Canopy Roads has been about families. We want to help moms and dads be the best parents they can be, and we want to help kids come to know Christ and grow in their relationship with Him. So children's ministry, preschool ministry, youth ministries have been a very vital part of what we've done from day one. The first step in having an effective children's ministry or preschool ministry or youth ministry is providing a safe environment for the kids, a place where they can thrive, and an environment where we know and they know and the parents know that they're going to be safe. We have implemented over the years numerous policies to help us ensure the safety of our kids, but those policies have primarily been verbal policies. We have not had a written, formal policy of child protection. So last fall, we felt like it was time for us to put in writing our verbal policies and also to go outside the scope of what we've done here and look at what other churches have done. So we put together a child protection policy team. We asked Todd Harper to chair this team, and then we enlisted leaders in our preschool children and youth ministries to work with this. Working with Todd was Debbie Abrams, Amber Gaines, and Jan Davidson. And for months, they researched what other churches across the country have used in terms of a formal child protection policy. So they put all of their efforts together and developed a child protection policy that was in turn reviewed and edited by our administrative ministries team. And now I'm excited to say that we have approved this policy and are preparing for the implementation phase. So what does this mean? What does this mean for our church? Well, it means that we're going to provide an even safer environment for our kids. Because quite frankly, folks, we live in an age where many adults have abused children verbally, physically, sexually, and even in churches. And we need to ensure that the kids that are brought to our facilities, the members of our families, and those who are guests who come for the first time, we want to ensure that they have the best possible, safest possible environment to learn about Christ and to grow in their relationships with each other and with Him. So we've put together this policy that I think will be an excellent policy to help us make strides in that direction. What's it going to change? Well, for the most part, we're going to continue to do the things we've done and through the verbal policies that we've had that are now condensed to black and white words in paper. But in addition to that, there are going to be some changes. Number one, we're going to do background checks on all of our church staff and every adult volunteer in our facilities or in our ministries that works with kids more than once a month. That's from preschool through teenagers. So we will have to do background checks. We're working on finding a vendor to help us do that. And I know some of you may think, well, gosh, there's some things in my past I don't want everybody to know about. These are going to be very confidential. But it's important for us to make sure that the adults who work with our kids, whether they be staff or volunteers on a regular basis, that these adults have been screened properly. And we know that our kids are being supervised and taught by adults that we can trust, that are safe. So we want to make sure that that happens. And the only way to do that is through background screening. A second part of the policy that's going to be a bit of a change is the two-person rule. Now, we have always tried to have two people, two adults, or a teenager and adult, in the case of preschool and children's classes, with our kids at all times. But sometimes we've not had enough adults to do that. So this policy will require us to have two adults, one screened, staff or volunteer, and one other adult in every classroom, in every setting outside the classroom, whether it's a retreat or a conference of some kind. So we want to make sure that we comply with this. So it's going to require some enlistment of more volunteers, and I hope that you'll be a part of that. So we want to provide the best and safest environment for our kids. And one of the ways we do that is by ensuring that there are at least two adults in every setting where kids, preschoolers, children, or youth are ministered to. Finally, an improvement in our check-in, check-out procedure is going to be required as well. We've been checking in and checking out kids safely for years, and we've evolved over the years in terms of how we do that. Now we have a procedure where you check in, receive a security badge for the child, and the adult has a security badge. Well, what's going to be a little bit different about this is maybe more supervision over how that's done. Every child from birth through 5th grade will require a check-in, whether that's Awana or Sunday morning or another ministry. They will have to be checked in by a parent or responsible adult, not another sibling, not a teenager, but an adult who is the parent or a responsible adult, like a grandparent or a guardian or a step-parent. So the children will have to be from birth through 5th grade checked in by that person. They'll receive a security badge that corresponds with a security badge for the child. And in order to pick up the child, that responsible adult or parent will need to bring that badge back. And we've been a little bit lax about that in the past. And parents, I hope you will help me with this. This is very important. Please don't send an older sibling to come pick up your child. It's important that you take responsibility for this. And if you're serving in the ministry, I know that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but for the safety of our kids, we need to implement this policy system-wide. So no special favors there. We need to make sure that we all try to comply with that, whether you're staff, families, and you need to disengage from a conversation to go pick up your child, or whether you're a volunteer serving somewhere else, we need to make sure that we comply with this. Those are the major changes that we see in the policy over what we are already currently doing and have been doing for a number of years here. To implement the policy, the first step is to have a church-wide, system-wide training session. And we're going to do that on April the 17th, which is a Sunday. April the 17th on Sunday morning at each of our worship hours, we're going to have a training session in the youth building, and Brad's going to be leading that. We thought that that might be the best time to have this because everybody's here on a Sunday morning. I realize that you're going to have to choose between worship or ministering. If you serve on Sunday mornings every week, then you're probably going to miss worship that week. But we'll take care of you on that. There will be some worship associated with the session that you're in with the policy training. So don't worry about that, and the message will be online for you to watch later. But it's really important that every person who works with preschoolers, children, or youth go through this training and are exposed to this policy. And Brad will walk you through that and be available to answer questions if you have any questions about that. And then following that session on the 17th, over the next 2 months, we'll be trying to implement everything that's in the policy that is not currently being done here in the system, which the background checks, the 2-person rule, the check-in procedures, and give us about 60 days to bring our church into compliance with all the policies. So I hope that you'll be praying about this. I hope you're excited about it, maybe a little anxious because it is a change. All change brings a little bit of anxiety, but this is for the benefit of our kids. We want to have the best possible environment for them to learn about Christ. And we want a parent who comes to our church for the first time to feel incredibly safe and relaxed about bringing their kid here and their child and placing them in the care of our ministries, preschool, children, and youth. So pray about the implementation of this. I believe it's going to be a great thing for our church. And I hope that if you're not presently involved in these ministries, that you'll consider praying about this and being involved, because we're going to need some more volunteers in order to help us come into compliance, particularly with the 2-person rule. We're going to post these policies beginning this week on the website, so you can go to the member login. If you look at the bottom of the web page on the member login, click on member login and you'll find it on the first page there. We'll show you how to get to the policies so that you can read them for yourself. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on Sunday.